Cadence.
Hey everybody, it's Kurt from Cadence here. I just wanted to talk to you today for a few minutes about vocal health. Often Cadence is traveling all around the world. We're doing 130 to 160 events throughout the year, and one of the questions that we get most often is, how do you keep your voice in check? How do you keep your vocal health? And I just want to talk about some of the major points of that today for you guys who are struggling out there with some vocal health or just interested in how to take care of your voice. And as you probably know, your voice is just two vocal folds that are vibrating against each other to make sound. So we want to take care of them, especially as a vocalist. So I'm going to be talking about moisture, which is such an important thing. I'm going to be talking about not misusing the voice, avoiding tension, and just some overall health. General health, so like sleep, exercise, food, that sort of thing. So we'll start with moisture. Moisture is probably one of the most important things that we can do for our voice. We want to make sure that your voice has lots of moisture. It's going to be able to perform well. You want to stay hydrated. Just drink lots of water. They recommend 6 to 8 glasses a day is recommended. Always drink before you're thirsty. Room temperature is best. I personally like it cold, but room temperature is best for absorption. One thing that people don't necessarily think about is humidity. So the moisture in the air that we breathe. Moisture, again, is so good for the voice. During the summer months, avoiding a lot of air conditioning units, or like I'm here in a basement, I've got my dehumidifier running. Often that dries things out. Just want to be aware of the humidity in the room. Also in winter, things get cold and dry, and the heat is on. It dries out your voice. So that's something you just want to be aware of as well. One kind of professional tip that I can give you is take a kettle, either in your green room, at home, or wherever, boil some water, put it in a bowl, steam starts to come up, put your head over it, put a towel over, and just do some deep breathing and get that moist air through the vocal cords and into the lungs, and just breathe deeply for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. It's going to really help. Also, you just want to listen to your voice. Does it sound dry? Is it dry? You might just need to drink some more water. On the occasional case, it could be allergies. Or you might be getting like the beginning of a cold, like, oh, it's a little coarse. Maybe I'll take some cold medicine. But that's often, most cold medicines are going to dry you out as well. It's really important for me as a bassist to make sure that my nose is clear so that I can hit the bass notes and resonate up in that area as well. And I always keep Sudafed with me, and I got the right dosage for that. I just take a little bit and I offset that with continue to drink tons of water, because that'll dry me out a little bit, but I stay hydrated with extra water. So yeah, just a little tip there. One thing that's really important as well is do not misuse the voice, okay? You want to avoid vocal injury. Things that can do that are yelling or screaming or talking loudly in noisy areas for an extended period of time. That can really misuse your voice. You don't want to oversing, meaning singing too loudly. Typically, as a professional, I don't sing any louder than I'm speaking to you right now. That's the volume that I sing at. That's the volume that I speak at. It's a very healthy way for you to continue to use your voice. So instead of also yelling and screaming, you want to avoid the other end of the spectrum as well. Avoid whispering for extended periods of time. Not particularly good for the voice. You also want to think about training your voice just like an athlete would train their body, right? So properly warm up, okay? Athletes stretch before they go to the game or their sport, and same with vocalists. We want to properly warm up. There's lots of fantastic videos out there about warming up your voice. In fact, Lucas has one on our site. You feel free to check that one out as well. Just make sure you're warmed up before you perform. Breathing properly is also very important. Again, there's lots of videos out there about how to breathe properly for vocalists. But what I don't want to hear is like creating tension, or there's something in the way, gasping basically. So keep the airway open, get a nice deep breath, everything nice and clear. So make sure you're breathing properly. Another very important tip is just sing with a good technique. That'll help avoid injury. Often people are trying to hit higher notes than they really should be able to, or lower notes, and they're tilting their head up or tilting their head down. It's not particularly good. It can create tension and it could cause injury. So it's just not a good idea. So you want to just sing with a good technique. And again, there's lots of videos out there on vocal technique. Pay attention to how you speak every day. I'm a bass, but a lot of people, when they speak to me, they're like, oh, you're more of a baritone. I don't, if I were to speak like this all day, like it's too tiring on the voice. Our top tenor, Lucas, has a very high voice, but he speaks a little bit higher than I do on a daily basis, and I speak a little bit lower, but we're kind of in that range. Very, very comfortable just in our speaking voices. So just pay attention to how you speak every day. One other tip is you want to avoid vocal fry. What's vocal fry? It's this sort of thing. If you're talking like that, vocal fry is not particularly good for the voice. So you just want to make sure that everything is phonating properly when you speak, and just avoid vocal fry. Cool. Moving on from there. Tension causes issues as well in terms of vocal health. So keeping things relaxed in your throat and in your neck muscles is very, very important. Often just gentle massage to kind of keep things loose, doing stretching for, your jaw, your shoulders, your neck, just to continue to keep things loose. Avoid cradling your phone on your shoulder. Oh, hey, John. Yeah, it's been good speaking to you with an hour. Oh, my neck is like killing me. So you just want to avoid tension in those areas. Also, just kind of a side tip as well. If you sleep on your stomach, often you're sleeping like this or like this, and again, it creates tension in those areas, and you just want to try to avoid that as a vocalist. Stage fright is a real thing and can create tension in your body and your voice, and that's something to be aware of as well. A lot of people, they're trying to sound like someone else, and I just, for now, avoid trying to sound like someone else. Often people are singing something that's like too hard or too high or too low for them. Knowing your voice and picking the correct key for you will help avoid tension. And even if you're practicing at home and you're going to a show and you're like, oh, normally at home I can hit those notes, but now I'm nervous, or now I'm in a performance stage. I'm often, people overthink things and the brain gets in the way a little bit too. And it's like, those notes I used to be able to hit, now I can't hit because I'm overthinking it. So often you just stay relaxed. Again, remove some of that tension and just execute the notes that you know how to do. If you continue to misuse your voice over time, there's a possibility that you could develop polyps or nodes on your vocal cords. That's something that you just want to avoid doing. It happens, and you just take care of it. See a professional about that and kind of deal with that. But again, with proper technique and everything that I'm talking about, that really shouldn't happen. I want to move along to just talking about general health. So sleep, exercise, and food. Okay. Sleep is one of the most important things you can do as a musician or as a performer in general, but definitely as a vocalist. If you're overtired, it's really not good in the voice. Singing takes so much focus, and when you're well rested, you just have that energy to be able, and alertness on stage to be able to perform properly and perform well. And even when you are awake, you should take vocal naps. So taking a break from speaking, taking a break from singing. Taking breaks often and pacing yourself is something that's really, really important to do. I'd personally rather see you sing for 10 minutes, 6 days a week than 1 hour once a week, for so many reasons, but it builds muscle skill and it builds stamina, and you're just continuing to use your voice on a daily basis, which is just better than on occasion. Less risk for vocal injury as well. Exercise, as we all know, is very important. It does improve our immune system, keeps us healthy, makes us feel good. 20 to 30 minutes, just get your heart rate up a day. Fantastic way to kind of keep everything moving and feel good about your voice and feel good about yourself. So highly recommend that. Speaking of kind of boosting your immune system, you want to avoid getting sick. Okay. As a vocalist, being sick when trying to perform is very challenging. So always wash your hands, wash them often, helps you from getting sick. And sometimes a bad cold can develop into laryngitis, where you lose your voice completely. And that's something you definitely want to avoid. If you are sick, we all get sick. Just be careful about the throat lozenges that you use. Typically the Cadence guys, we stick to like Ricola. It's made from natural products. It does the job and it works really, really well. Highly recommend it. If you are sick, just don't push your voice, okay? If you're feeling that scratchy and soreness in your throat, it means that your vocal cords are irritated, and you should not use your voice as much. So just be aware of that. Don't continually clear your throat. Pardon me. When you clear your throat, it slams your vocal cords together, and it could cause injury, and it's not good for your voice. Just, pardon me, excuse me, I'll just grab a glass of water, clear your throat that way instead of clearing your throat all the time. Don't ever smoke, okay? Inhaling smoke, and that includes secondhand smoke if you're in a smoky area, can really irritate the vocal cords and reduce your lung capacity. It's just not a good thing to do. So just don't smoke. I want to move along to just foods and drinks. So avoiding any drinks that can make your voice dry. So for example, alcohol can really dry out your voice. Same as caffeine. So coffee, many teas, also soft drinks like Coke can dry out your voice as well. Avoid gargling mouthwash before a show. It has alcohol in it, so it's also going to dry out your voice. Avoid foods that can personally cause you heartburn. You know your own body. Typically that's spicy foods that might cause heartburn before you sing. You just want to avoid that. Avoid any foods that can coat your throat with mucus. So most professionals just say, listen, just avoid dairy. Dairy can coat your throat, and just avoid it on show days. Something that a lot of people don't necessarily know, but it's also very important, is to avoid acidic foods like citrus fruits. So for me, I know personally I can't drink a glass of orange juice and go do a show. It does a similar thing to dairy. It coats my throat, and it's just very hard to phonate and kind of perform properly. A lot of people will just say, listen, just drink herbal tea with some lemon and honey. Just do the honey. Just avoid the citrus. Don't add lemon to it. Honey's fantastic. It's a powerful soothing effect on your voice. It's rich in antioxidants and has antibacterial properties, which will help fight bacteria infections in your throat. It's also an anti-inflammatory. So I would highly recommend even just like boiling water and honey is a fantastic way to kind of soothe your throat if you're feeling a bit under the weather. Great. So in terms of other vocal health issues, if you are having vocal health issues, don't be scared to just ring the bell. Find a professional near you who can really help you. It could be a vocal coach, a vocal teacher, it could be a voice therapist. Don't be afraid to ring the bell. If you're having trouble and having vocal issues and worried about your vocal health, just, hire a professional. These people know what they're talking about, and they can be very helpful for you. Anyway, if you like what you heard today, please subscribe to the Cadence videos and check out some of the other videos that we have to offer. I hope this was helpful for you today, and take care.